anglers have started moving about again, and the good news is that there's some fish about. But for mid-Mar dammers, there have been some good bass about in the 3+ kilogram class.
The guys have been landing cob, the guys have been getting Garrick, they've been getting Bream, and also a couple of hammers as well.
Whoa, we have got some really sweet weather conditions. Everything is lined up.
There you go, buddy. Hit now!
This is the Angler News SA podcast. I'm Vanessa Green.
Hey, hello anglers. Welcome to another week where once again KZN has delivered against all odds, by the way. We have fought the rain, we have fought the wind, we have fought those heavy seas. We have persevered and we have delivered. This is what I love about fishing. This is what I love about the sport, and this is why I love KZN. Now guys, here's a little taste of what you can expect in this week's show. We are going to be talking about the tuna, the cob, the Garrick, the bronze bream, the bottom fish, the bass, the trout, the scalies, and the yellowfish. But most of all, we are delivering this weekend's most marvelous fishing conditions with the sweetest of hot spots, all from the planet's leading reporters. Guys, all you have to do is sit back, turn up the volume, and listen up. But before we do, huge shout out to our sponsors, the Kingfisher. So guys, here's what we are talking about from the Kingfisher this week. They are the leaders when it comes to giving you content, right? So if you want the latest news, whether it's in the newspapers, they are in the Post, the Mercury, the Witness, and the Daily News, or whether you are even looking for it on the podcast, like what you're listening to now, or if you want some evergreen content as to where to go and target certain species, how to fish for them, go into the YouTube channel. And if you want to see all the latest catches coming out from throughout the country, guys, there is their social media pages. So log on to www.kingfisher.co.za. Now let's get back into the fishing report. And we are going to kick it off with Mike V and Brad Krubler with everything that's been happening in and around Durban.
How's it, guys? The week was quite a slow one. There was a couple greys around, couple small blue rays, things I get. It did hot up a bit. I think it was Thursday. There was quite a few more spinners, greys, things I get, especially down in the Blue Lagoon area. The edibles were missing though. The stumpies and the grunters took a bit of a hide. They did get a couple, but not like they were getting in the numbers they were getting them in. But saying that, the diamond rays, greys, spinners, that sort of thing all popped up in that Blue Lagoon area for a day, and then the bad weather blew in. So a lot of people didn't fish Saturday, Sunday due to the rain and all that stuff. But yeah, there was quite a few fish caught on the beaches. I think this coming week with the sea settling very nicely, I think the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is going to be epic fishing. I think it's going to be really good. They're showing seas of 1 meter. So yeah, let's hope that happens, and let's hope it stays like that, so we can go out there and smoke the fish. On the paddle ski and ski boat side, there was quite a few snook caught. Oaks are still mainly fishing on the bottom for the hillback doggers, the rock codes, things like that. But the guys that are putting in the time and the effort are getting a couple snook, they're getting some small kuta. I did have a couple Spanish mackerel around, which is quite rare. They seem to have made an appearance here in Durban for a bit. But yeah, that was pretty much about that for the ski boat side. On the bay side, lots of juvenile undersized grunter. Piles and piles of them. In the mix there, you are getting the odd one that's size, but the bigger ones seem to have disappeared for a bit. I'm not sure where they went. I thought the water coming down the canals would have enticed them to feed more, but they seem to have made a small duck. Couple kingies in the bay though, couple springer in the bay on small ultralights. Nothing on bait. Everything was caught in ultralight. So a little 2-inch and 3-inch paddle tails, some small rapalas, things like that. But yeah, guys, go out there, have some fun. The week up ahead looks absolutely brilliant. I can't wait for it to arrive. This is Mike V for NSA News. Thanks, guys.
Good day, guys. Brad here from Linsky Fishing Charters. Guys, fishing over the last week and the weekend. Guys, yeah, the weather once again hasn't really played the game. We did manage to get out a couple of times. On the bottom fishing side, still plenty of nice slingers and soldiers and rockhards around, with some really good Englishmen popping up in amongst them as well. On the gamefish side, the water temperature has dropped down due to the ping pong weather we've had. The gamefish have gone out into real deep. There were some still snook, people who are brave enough to go off to the shallows, off the Blue Lagoon and the Mercy area. Hopefully the weather's forecast looking a lot better for the next week. So hopefully it warms up and we can get back to the proper gamefish. Guys, this is Brad for Angling News South Africa and Tucklines, and speak to you guys all next week.
Well, thank you, Mike and Brad. What a good report. All right, so it was good. It was honest. It was exactly what we all knew. Heavy winds, difficult fishing conditions, but there were some fish. And this weekend is looking absolutely fantastic for a lot more fish. Now, if we got fish in conditions like that, I cannot wait to see what's going on this weekend. Speaking of seeing what's going on, let's jump over to Michaela Daniels with this week's fishing report from the Durban North area.
What's up, everyone? This is Michaela from Durban, reporting for Angler News SA. The past week's weather has been miserable to say the least, but nevertheless, we still saw some beautiful fish coming out. Starting off at Blue Lagoon, there were quite a few stumpies that came out off the bricks, as well as 1 or 2 pompano and the odd Garrick, while the guys at Beechwood hooked into some lovely sized stumpies and the odd ray here and there. The guys at Virginia were getting quite a few grunter, but they're still mainly just picking up your scratching species like your blacktails and your Natal moonies. The longer anglers, however, absolutely showed off this past week, with many pulling in some huge stumpy and a few grey sharks. So guys, if you're looking to hook into one of these, be sure to give Mhlongo a try. The conditions haven't been all that favourable for the offshore anglers, but nevertheless, there's still been plenty coming out, with Garrick still coming out of the bait box, and the tuna and dorado are finally making an appearance. The bottoms are still seeing some darga and geelbeck coming out amongst the usual reds and rockoffs, but they are slowing down. By moving up the coast to Mhloti, we're still seeing plenty bronzies and 1 or 2 stumpies coming out, while the offshore guys have been getting into some decent yellowfin tuna and a few snook, with the usual rockard and geelbeck coming out off the bottom. That's going to be it from me for this week, guys. Have a great one and tight lines.
Thank you, Michaela. What a great report. Moonies? Yes, okay. If that's what's coming out, it was tough conditions. However, there were a few other fish that you were talking about, and I know you are fishing during the course of this week, so I have no doubt you are going to be delivering a lot more content next week. In fact, with these weather conditions, guys, trust me, a lot more is coming. Now, speaking about a lot more coming, we are going to Deandra with everything that's going up on the North Coast, and this seemed to have been a pretty sweet hotspot.
The rods are still bending in the North Coast with catches that most adventurous anglers dream of. Yes, the Tugela and St. Lucia region did not disappoint this week. The rock and surf anglers are still hooking into the raggies with some impressive sizes reported on. In this mix, the diamonds and sandies follow on the flatfish side, with cobs, rockcod and bream taking the lead for the edibles. Some Garrick and kingfish kept the anglers busy on the surf side with topwater lures, but the offshore anglers had incredible action hooking and releasing into some impressive marlins and bullfish over the past week. Thick schools of tuna are still present, including yellowfin and skipjack, with a big-eyed tuna also entering its peak season. Moving down south from the St. Lucia area, some early season dorado and wahoo starting to make an appearance, with geelback and dagos for the bottom feeders, as well as a variety of redfish like slingers and soldiers. For the rock and surf side of Richards Bay, grey sharks have returned in larger numbers along with sandies and red. More Garrick have been reported on for this side of the North Coast than the upper north side, but for Richards Bay and more south towards Belito, it's been the bream still in the lead with some champion-sized stumpies also in the mix. A kind reminder that the shad season is still closed, and a special thanks to all the anglers releasing the breeding stocks of cob. May this week be a productive one. I'm Deandra reporting for Angler News SA. Tight lines.
Yo, D, what a week happening up on the North Coast. Who would have thought? All those chick species, all those sharks, raggy, honeys, cob. Oh my goodness, it is the place to be. It certainly is. Oh yes, that is what happens up there in summer, and you can see it is there in full bloom. So once again, thank you, Deandra, for that breathtaking report. All right, now let's get to where the fishing is continuing to cook. All right, guys, we are moving up to the Midlands, and there is some good catches with a wide variety of species coming out. Jan is going to tell us all about it.
Hey there, guys. Just a sprinkling of rainfall reported over the Midlands over the past week. Anglers have started moving about again, and the good news is that there's some fish about. Higher rainfall figures have been reported closer to the berg, so that's good news for the rivers. And after a mixed start of the season, reports indicate that the river fishing is back on form. A return from the Natal Fly Fishers Club reported that a few days of afternoon and night showers has lifted the Bushman's River, and the river level is just about perfect, albeit with some slight discoloration. Fish are reported to be feeding with gusto, mainly taking suspended nymphs early in the day and then coming onto the dry fly later on. Fish are mainly in the 19 to 13 inch, that is 23 to 33 centimeter bracket, with a few bigger fish reported in the 13 to 15 inch or 33 to 38 centimeter class. And quote unquote, a fine day in the office, said the report. Water temperature was reported at 17 degrees centigrade. Another report noted that the Mgani River has also been fishing, well, with some cracker-sized browns coming to hand. Returns from the NFFC Stillwater anglers are reporting fish in the 13 to 15 inch, 33 to 38 centimeter, and 15 to 17 inch or 38 to 43 centimeter classes. As mentioned previously, larger patterns are your current go-to when picking through your fly box, and olive being the current flavor of the week, in the form of strip leeches and a variety of minnow patterns, and of course, including that old favorite Mrs. Simpson, which have accounted for a good number of fish. Word from Midmar Dam has there been some good bass about in the 3+ kilogram class. Bluegill also reported to be coming out. No fishing news coming from Albert Falls Dam currently, but that's no doubt due to there being a closure for the past week and a practice day in this week for the 2025 Saba Team Tournament Trail Nationals, which is taking place this weekend. So all anglers are no doubt keeping their cards very close to their chest. We wish all anglers tight lines and look forward to reporting on the fishing next week. With the recent rains, the lower reaches of rivers will be discolored, but if you must get out, you must. And with just rewards going to the brave, the lower Moy River has been giving up some good size scalies and even a good size Orange River mudfish, aka muddy, which is a companion species to the Natal scaly in the Moy River catchment. After a busy couple of weeks now at the start of the season, Sturtfontein has been firing with some excellent smallmouth and largemouth yellowfish about, reports Jeremy Rochester from Escape Fly Fishing. Sight fishing with hopper patterns is the name of the game at this world-class destination. Guys, do stop in the Kingfisher Pier in Maritzburg for the best in tackle and advice. And this is Jan Corabel reporting for Kingfisher and for Angler News South Africa.
The absolute legend. What a fantastic report. So many species coming out over there, from that trout to the scalies to the yellowfish. Oh, I simply love it. Absolutely amazing. Well done. Certainly an area to head off to, especially, if the weather conditions are the way it was this past week. Yeah, Midlands is certainly the place to go. And fish those protected areas, fish in the dam, it's going to be amazing. However, the weather is looking good. And if you are planning on staying on the coastline, this is what's happening down the south coast. And yeah, it wasn't a great week, but it is shaping up to be fantastic.
This week, the weather has not played ball, or the fish have just disappeared. I don't know what is going on. Unfortunately, the only fish I can report about is some bream coming out in the Baba area and on Estes Beach. There's been a couple of bream there. And then also had some small cob the other day, which averaged about 2 to 3 kilos. So they were very small. Other than that, guys, it's been very quiet. I heard of one Garrick coming off Winkel, and I heard of some guy tussling a big, which I can only presume was a honeycomb, and I don't know whether he landed it or not. I did see him tussling it on Winkel, but I presume it was a big honeycomb. Other than that, it has been absolutely quiet in our area.
Thank you, Ray Thompson. Yes, it was a tough week, but a lot to look forward to this coming weekend. Now, let's head on over to the lower South Coast with our South Coast guru, Adam. Guys, I parted with him this weekend, and I tell you, he is a vibe. He is a blast. He is as explosive as his fishing reports. As Adam Lyon, a true legend, as a real good friend, and now delivering your lower South Coast report.
Hey, good day, Vinesh. I hope you're doing well, my friend, and everybody out there has had a beautiful weekend. So it has definitely been, again, fun in the sun down on the South Coast, as Vinesh can attest to this. However, the day that you did manage to fish, my friend, it was windy as anything, but you did manage to land a bream, which was one of the species we were talking about. There are cob, there are Garrick, there are bronze bream around, and definitely one of the ones you managed to land. It is just unfortunate that literally a couple of hours after you had left, the guys managed to land a Garrick at Margate Pier. Multiple, actually. So, yeah, just really one of those things, unfortunately, Vinesh. However, this week it's been, again, sort of a hit and a miss. The guys have been landing cob. The guys have been getting Garrick. They've been getting bream, and also a couple of hammers as well. Nothing too big in terms of the hammer sizes, but the guys have been landing. So really, really awesome to see that. So we just hope that the weather holds out, the sea settles a bit, cleans up a bit, and we should be in for quite a good weekend coming up. If I had to pick and choose a spot for this up and coming weekend, Vinesh, I'd more than likely just go to Margate Pier, because whether you're catching Garrick or bream off Margate Pier, yeah, you're going to get a fish, definitely, for sure, Vinesh. Otherwise, guys, I hope you have an awesome weekend. Stay safe, tight lines, and let's see those catches.
Adam, you legend. Thank you for that, my brother. Absolutely love it. Yes, it is going to be looking amazing. Now, guys, while we're on the topic of the South Coast, you've heard I partied with Adam this weekend, but it wasn't just him. It was also the guys, Mike and Angie's Fishing Adventures. What a blast. I partied with Mary O'Shea Fishing fishing charters from down there. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning this is because, guys, when you go down to the lower South Coast, when you are fishing that area, the camaraderie, the spirit, the vibe, it is electrifying. It is such a welcoming bunch of people. It is safe, it is friendly, it is full of hugs and smiles and a spirit where everyone's willing to help and teach. It was absolutely amazing. These guys are true ambassadors of the South Coast. If you want to know what it's like to be a fishing ambassador to an area, this is it. Head on down to the Margate Pier, find the guys, and you don't even have to ask as to, who can help me. The guys are already there. They are absolutely amazing. And if you want to see all that happen this weekend, well, check it out on our socials. It was an absolute blast. Now, that was the weekend that has passed. Talking about the weekend that's coming up, guys, whoa, we have got some really sweet weather conditions. Everything is lined up. We got the guys fishing from Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It is looking simply sublime. So just get out there. No matter what you are doing, plan a fishing trip this weekend. And when you get out there, make sure to keep those hooks sharp, those rods bending, those drags screaming. And until the next one,
this is the Angler News SA podcast. I'm Vanessa Bream. Find more episodes at ecr.co.za under podcasts or your favorite podcast app. Let's fish for the future.